Okay, so looking at solving inequalities, you are going to use some of the same steps that you used for solving an equation. So the first thing you want to check for is, do you have any distribution? And you can see we have distribution right here. We actually have distribution twice, and the reason why I know this is because you have two sets of parentheses, one on either side, one before the inequality and one after the inequality. So you want to kind of treat the inequality just like an equal sign until the very end, and then we're going to deal with the greater than or equal to that we have here. So we're going to go ahead and multiply every coefficient inside the parentheses. So I have a coefficient for x, and then I have a constant. So I'm going to multiply -3 times the coefficient of 1. So that's going to give me -3x. And then I'm going to multiply a -3 times a 4, which is going to give me a -12. So when I read this all together, it's going to be -3x minus 12. But I also have to bring down that 17 because we haven't done anything with it. So everything before the inequality symbol is read as 17 minus 3x minus 12 is greater than or equal to, and now I'm going to distribute again. Remember, I'm going to multiply every coefficient or constant by 3. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 1, which is going to give me 3x, and then 3 times 9 is going to give me 27. And because it's positive, I'm going to use the addition symbol to show that that number is positive. And now I want to combine all of my like terms. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to combine my two constants, 17 and -12. So think of it as I have 17 and I'm taking away 12. That is going to give me 5. And then I'm just going to bring down the -3x. So now I have 5 minus 3x is greater than or equal to 3x plus 27. And I cannot combine this and make 30x because this does not have an x, so these are not like terms. And now what I want to do is I want to move all of my like terms to the same side of the inequality. So I want all my x's to be on the same side, either before or after the inequality. I'm going to choose to move this positive 3x over here, and because it's positive, I have to subtract 3x from both sides. And so now I'm going to get 0 here, and then I'm going to have bring down my 5, and now I'm going to do my subtraction. So I started with a -3, and then this means I'm taking away 3 more for a total of -6. So I'm going to have minus 6x is greater than or equal to, and then I'm going to bring down my 27. Because remember, this 3x is no longer here. I moved it over here. That's how I ended up with more negative x's. And now I want to get my constants on the same side, so it only makes sense to move the 5 over to the 27. So I've got to decide, do I add or subtract 5? And I need to subtract 5 from both sides. And that's going to give me a 0 here. So the only thing I'm left with before the inequality sign is a -6x greater than or equal to. And now I've got to do the math here. I've got 27. Let's see if you can see my calculator a little bit better. I've got 27. And I'm taking away 5 for a total of 22. And now I'm going to solve for x by dividing, because I want to get down to positive 1x. And the only way I can get down to a positive 1 is to divide -6 by itself, which means I'm going to divide the -22 by itself. So that's going to turn into a 1x. And I don't have to write the 1, I can just write x. I'm going to take care of my inequality sign in just a second. And now I'm going to type in my calculator 22 divided by -6, and I'm going to type it in as a fraction, and I get -11/3. -11/3. And if I want to see what this is as a decimal, I can always go to math, hit option 2 and enter, and it is about -3.67 if I round. So that's what that fraction is equal to. But I want to go back to my inequality symbol, and I want to look at, is this going to flip-flop? Now remember, you have to look at what you divided by, and we divided by a negative number, which means, yes, we are going to flip-flop our inequality. So this is actually going to turn into a less than or equal to symbol. So my answer is x has to be less than or equal to -11/3, or if you want to think of it like this, x has to be less than or equal to -3.67 in order for this inequality to be true.